Right, so
First press conference, very exciting.
oh, really?
I think so.
Well, welcome. You're a lovely group.
Great. Hi.
What would you say separates Bethenny from other daytime talk shows?
Hopefully I separate myself, just to be uniquely me. I don't really look at what anyone else is doing, so I really just think that if you're worried about what everyone else is doing on their show, then you're not really focusing on your own thing.
Right.
Michael Phelps worried about lanes to the left and the right, he wouldn't get to the other side first.
True. Questions for Bethenny? Go ahead.
You have very open dialogue with your viewers and fans. Is there any topic that is off limits on your show?
There's no topic that's off limits on the show. No. And that's a great question. I've never been asked that before. But no. I'm not interested in being mean to anyone or making anyone feel badly. I want it to be a place without judgment where we can really be honest, because I think that's what women are missing in their lives, a safe place to talk about things that they're going through that might be uncomfortable, that you really don't reveal until someone says it. So I want it to be a safe place. But that would be the only thing I could say. I just don't want there to be anything nasty. That's one thing I don't like on TV.
Thank you very much.
Do you have any plans to have Martha Stewart on the show, considering the start in the industry she gave you?
I've thought about that. That's a great question also. I would like to have Martha Stewart on the show. Definitely. If she'd be open to it. But who knows? Yeah, I would definitely like that.
Okay, and a kind of silly question. Is it true that you worked on Saved by the Bell, and can you share any tidbits from that experience?
I did work on Saved by the Bell. I wanted to be an actress. I had just left college, graduated, but didn't walk into class. I wanted to get out to LA. And I almost missed my plane. I got the last seat, and they gave me a first class seat. And I was sitting next to a producer who was at NBC Productions, and he gave me a job as a PA for the beach episodes on Saved by the Bell. And it's amazing that now I'm kind of business peers with some of them. Like Mario Lopez has been on my show, which is so surreal because all I wanted to do was have their job. It looked so fun. They were on the beach all summer frolicking. They were all hooking up with each other. They were all so good looking, and it just seemed like something really fun. But it was hard work, actually. Hard work for me. And now, knowing what I know more, it's definitely hard work for them. So yes, it's one of my little secrets.
Will you have Mario on the show more frequently?
I'll definitely have Mario on the show. He's a great guest, and women like to look at him. He's cute and charming, and he's also part of the Television's family, so that's an easy one to invite over.
In terms of content and segment ideas on the show, how hands-on are you with that in terms of pitching ideas?
I'm very hands-on. Every day I probably send about 20 to 30 emails to the executive producer saying, we need to talk about this, we need to talk about, it could be something as simple as last night, I was going to the restroom in the airport and I was wondering, is it the first restroom or the first stall or the last one that has the most germs? And I just tweeted something, and I got more tweets than almost anything I've ever tweeted. And so I said, I want to do something with some different perspective on germs, whether it's cleaning your makeup brushes or people say not to share a razor or something that hasn't been done. So that would just be 1 out of 30 emails. Just something. I was talking to a woman who was telling me that she found an email from a man. She's living with her ex in the house because they can't afford to get divorced, which is a great topic on the show, having to live together without being able to afford to separate. And then she found a letter from a man to her husband saying, I want you. I was like, we have to talk about women who think their husbands are gay. So every day something will happen, and several things happen, and I just come up with these things that I want to talk about. And I'm involved in everything from what snacks will be in everyone's room to what the decor is to what it smells like, tastes like, feels like. I'm definitely involved in every aspect of the show.
Wow. Which washroom is it, by the way? The first one or the
First
last?
one is has the least germs because people think that the first one has the most germs.
Ah, there you go. Good
But I
advice.
think that I don't understand it because you always leave at a time when there's not traffic. That would mean that if you left when it's rush hour, then there should be no traffic.
Right.
But that's not the case. When you leave rush hour, there's traffic.
There you go.
However.
Thank you, Bethenny.
Bethany, with the success of the trial run of the show, are there any changes that you're making going into this season, or is it kind of a let's leave it alone?
That's such good questions. Good journalists. I would say that I'm not an overly sex person, so it was front loaded with a lot of sex. It was like vibrator virgins, and I was a little uncomfortable with that because that's not really exactly how I would speak. I might speak about masturbation or women, and sex, but I don't think that I would it would be so in your face like that. That was something that I was saying from the beginning. I feel like it's just too much. People liked it and it got people talking, but it's just not exactly authentic to me, the dose of it. So I think that would be something that would be toned down. Otherwise, just things that I've heard and things that I've felt. Sometimes I was on the couch a little too much. I like to be in the audience. I feel that you get a little stuck, and it's good to be interacting. Just tweaks. I would say if we did the same thing as the summer, with a few exceptions, it would be great. I mean, physically, aesthetically, it'll be slightly different. And we now have time. I was using Ellen's crew and Ellen's stage, so now. But I feel like with anything, if you overthink it and you overanalyze it and you over-focus group it, you can screw it up. So I'm a person that believes it. Go with your gut and just go out there and talk every day and do what I do and have fun.
And then just a quick question with the Real Housewives franchise. Some people are starting to say that, it's a little bit invasive, the franchise now, and kind of getting away from what it was originally. Are you trying at all a conscious decision to distance yourself from the franchise? Are you still cool with your name being associated with it?
I mean, it's true. Ironically, when I was on the show, I wasn't a housewife. Actually, now I'm not a housewife anymore either. But a lot of people do know me as a housewife. And I don't try to distance myself from it because I'm so grateful to the experience and to Bravo. I mean, I can't believe where I was then and where I am now. I mean, it's completely the American dream and it's totally surreal. I do agree with you that it has changed. When I went on the show, it was a show called Manhattan Moms. I didn't even know what it was. And it was fun. It was fun meeting new people and going to these great places that we went to. And it did jump the shark. It did get a little too toxic. And that's because people started watching it and saying, oh, I have to one-up this and there has to be more drama. And I think that I did it at the right time for the right reasons, and I think that I got out at the right time. I think in anything, timing is everything.
Does having a reality TV background, it obviously helped get you where you are right now, but there is like that stigma. Is it hard to overcome that in Hollywood and like kind of get the respect that you have earned / deserve?
It's funny that you say that because, so in thinking about guests, the truth is my show is really about the conversation. It's not about having the biggest guest. If Madonna shows up at my door, I'm certainly not going to turn her away, but that's not what we're doing, saying, oh my God, how do we get the biggest guest? But in thinking about that, I wonder if these people would want to come on my show, big time celebrities, because to them I'm probably just a reality star, which I am. I have to, I guess, prove myself, but I'm not really interested in proving myself in that way. I'm just mentioning that it has occurred to me or people around me, And also, there was something else I was going to say, something about the reality star getting. Oh, I would say that my business success was something that did take it to another level. That's a way that people in business respect me, and people, and probably celebrities, people say things that are different to me, people respect it. In the industry, there's apparently a Bethenny clause, which in every reality contract that anyone signs, they now have to give a piece to the network because of the Bethenny clause. So it's like, that's a little baller. I'm excited about that. But I don't really think about that stuff. But yeah, I mean, I'll always be a reality star. Well, no, actually, in September I'll be a talk show host. We'll see what happens.
And just to follow up on that, what do you like? Most reality stars try and parlay this into something else. What do you think made you a success versus the many people who have failed?
Again, I really don't look at what other people are doing that closely. I think that people get on television and think that it's like fool's gold. You think you're just going to be on television, everybody's going to want to buy whatever you're selling. And it's not like that. I mean, I have products that I even sell, and I promote, and I have a platform, and sometimes they don't do well. They need love, they need to be changed. I mean, it's really hard to be successful. So hard. You have to be so driven, you have to do things other people aren't willing to do. You have to be authentic. Most importantly, you have to be authentic. It has to be true to who you are. I went on reality television, I already had a platform, I already knew what I wanted to be when I grow up, and so it was just very true to me. It was very easy. But I don't think that any of my actual businesses were the reason that I became a success. I think that my being honest was the reason. I think it was season 1. I was living in a 1-bedroom apartment. I came on the show just for business reasons initially, and I got on the show and everyone's revealing themselves. And someone said to me, that's just the way it is. You have a camera there, and someone said to me, you shouldn't be using the show as therapy. And I thought we should be using everything as therapy. And I just was honest. I'm broke. I'm not able to afford what these women can do. I don't have a boyfriend. I don't know if I'm going to end up alone. Who's going to take care of me? I was in my 30s. And I was honest about it. And it ended up developing this relationship with women that had nothing to do with anything that I was selling or anything. I was, that's what ended up being a talk show, I think. That initial relationship and that trust that is built over the years. So, I know it was a long answer, but it's kind of the whole real story.
Final question for Bethany?
You said you don't really watch what everyone else is doing, but did you have any talk show idols growing up, or when you were 30 and in a one-bedroom apartment?
I didn't because I've always really, it's not just because I'm working with her, I've always really thought that Ellen was just so natural and so funny, and having been on her show, she's very different. She's not on script at all in the sense that if you say something totally nuts, she goes with you. And I think that that's a real skill. When I did her show, I was so humbled. And so I've always looked up to her. Otherwise, I haven't really ever watched talk shows. And I'm glad because I don't want to be thinking about, oh, I should be doing something like that or shouldn't be doing something like that. I really just think that in life and business and relationships, we overthink things. And I think it has to be obviously organized, and I have a great team behind me, but I really just like to go out there and be myself, because otherwise I'm not going to be happy, no one's going to want to watch, and that's the best shot we have for success.
Thank you.